Hey everyone and welcome back on the channel. My name is Alex. In today's video we have day 4 of the Paris 2024 Olympic series here on the channel. We'll have a hot take, fun fact, we'll have the preview of today's schedule, the results from yesterday and the brand rankings. Let's go with today's fun fact. Today's fun fact is actually a hot take and it's about the repechage runners, the runners that went through the repechage round in the 1500 meters competition. They competed last night in the semi-finals and none of them made it to the final. So out of 6 runners who went through the repechage round and qualified for the semi-finals, none of them succeeded to enter the final. It's really hard because that means they had to run a third race in 3 days. For some of them, it was actually really tough. I have in mind George Mills, who finished second to last in his semi-final. As in Abs, the French runner also didn't make it. And my take, the hot take, is that repechage rounds are actually useless if they are put in a row with the first round and the semi-finals. 3 days in a row is really hard for these athletes. And maybe the repechage round should happen, 2 days before the semi-finals, just in order to get a bit more rest to these athletes. Let's preview the schedule for tonight, and as of 7 p.m. the pole vault final will kick off. Obviously, Mondo Duplantis is expected to win it, but you never know. It's the Olympics, many things can happen, and we shall see. 7 p.m. Central European time. Let's follow that one closely. In between the start of the pole vault final and the next final, we also have the first round for the men's 200 meters and the semi-final for the women's 200 meters. And then 9:15 p.m. Central European time, the women's 5,000 meters final. Huge fields. Faith Kipyegon, Gudaf Tsegay, Sifan Hassan, Beatrice Chebet are the 4 favorites, if you can call them that. I have my money on Faith Kipyegon, and I would say that Sifan Hassan will really struggle to make it to the podium, but let's see. She has an amazing agenda in front of her, 5,000, 10,000 marathon. Can she make it on the podium in her first event? Can she win it? It's going to be really tough against the competition she will be facing, but let's see what happens tonight. And then 9:47 p.m. Central European time, the women's 800 meters final. Everyone expects Keely Hodgkinson to win it. She just dominated the semi-finals and she has the fastest time in the 8 women competing in tonight's final. I think she's gonna win it, and then behind her it's gonna be a tough fight. Many of these runners have a 1:56, 1:57 PB. There's a French runner, Renelle Lamont, who's also in the field for tonight, but I have my money on Keely Hodgkinson. And now let's move on to yesterday's results. In the women's high jump final, it's Yaroslava Mahuchik who won it. It's her first Olympic title. She's only 22 years old, from Ukraine, and she won it with a 2-meter jump. She attempted a 2:02 and a 2:04 later in the competition, but she only passed the 2 meters bar. She's a world record holder with a 2 meters and 10 centimeter attempt that she succeeded to break this year. But nevertheless, she's the Olympic champion. You also have 2 bronze medalists in this event, as 2 women were tied for 3rd place. Men's hammer throw final, it's Ethan Katzberg from Canada who won it. His first attempt beyond 84 meters was absolutely amazing and no one could catch up. So he was just up there for the whole event. The other throwers tried to get to that 84 meters mark, but they were just too far behind, around 80 meters for the second and thirds on the podium. So Ethan Katzberg now really reigning on the hammer throw. And obviously last night, the biggest final was the 100 meters final on the men's side. It was a super close race. 8 runners within 0.12 seconds. The difference in time between the first and the second was 0.005 of a second, 0.005 seconds. Noah Lyles took the win. He is now the Olympic champion on the 100 meters. Kishane Thompson had a fantastic race, but just couldn't break in the same fashion as Noah Lyles did, and he finishes second. Fred Kerley, silver medalist in Tokyo, is now a bronze medalist on the 100 meter in Paris. That's your 100 meter final podium. And it was an amazing race to watch. I was a bit surprised to see how long it took before the runners were in the starting blocks and ready to go. There was the whole show, the whole music thing in the stadium, very nice. But then once the anticipation builds, there was a very long wait for the runners, about 2-3 minutes. They were just standing and looking at each other. Some of them may have gone outside of their focus zone and maybe lost it there. But nevertheless, at the end of the day, it's Noah Lyles. And interesting enough, he was wearing a shoe that doesn't quite look as the Prime SP3, the Y3 version that Adidas has promoted yesterday on social media. It looks like an SP2 that was customized to make it look as close as possible to an SP3. You have the pictures on your screen. Let us know in the comments. Is that an SP2? Is that an SP3? There's a debate. It's quite irrelevant, to be honest, because Noah Lyles is the winner anyways and the shoe doesn't quite matter. But interestingly enough, Adidas promoted that SP3 and he might not have worn it yesterday. And that's it for yesterday's results. Now let's go to the brand rankings. Not much has changed. Adidas has an extra gold medal thanks to Noah Lyles' win on the 100 meters final. Nike gets 2 silver medals with Kishane Thompson wearing a Max Fly and Fred Curley wearing a Max Fly 2. Remember, Fred Curley was an ASICS athlete and he ditched ASICS in June, if I remember well, now running with Nike, but not officially sponsored by Nike. Nevertheless, he was wearing a Nike Max Fly 2 Electric Pack colorway. That's your first 2 places in the brand rankings, and then we have same order, Anta, New Balance, Puma, and then On and ASICS closing that ranking tables. But more finals coming up tonight, like I said, the women's 5,000 meters, the women's 800. So we will have more medals to add to this table, and hopefully we'll see some changes in tomorrow's rankings. Thanks a lot for watching today. There is a playlist right here. You can click on it. It will take you to all of the episodes in this Paris 2024 Olympic series. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your run today, enjoy your ride, and see you tomorrow for another episode in this series.